Hi, nice to see you there. Hope that you've had a fine day, and thanks for being with us. Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona is where we are, getting ready for another webcast of the featured game on tonight's Sun Belt College Baseball Summer League schedule. My name is Alan Scott, and I'll be reporting on the action here and from the other two scheduled Sun Belt games being played at the same time in the south fields of the Kino Sports Complex, which is next door. The BNL Rockets will be trying to get back on track after being dropped into third place as a result of last night's 5-1 loss to the Aztecs, a team we'll be seeing here tonight. BNL will play the Old Pueblo Kings. In the other game, the Rincon Knights will try to get out of the league cellar against the Tucson Champs. The Knights are only a half game behind the Champs. We'll be seeing the Aztecs for a second night in a row here at Kino Stadium, as they are the designated home team against Team Tucson. This will be the third meeting between Team Tucson and the Aztecs. They have split the prior two contests. The Aztecs up 12-8 in the first, and Team Tucson having their way in the second, 16-3. In that first game, the Aztecs jumped out to an 8-1 lead, only to have a horrible seventh inning, giving up 7 runs on 5 errors and 4 walks. Somehow, they righted the ship, scoring 4 runs in their half of the seventh inning to cruise to a 12-8 win. In that first game, standouts for the Aztecs were Angel Ochoa and Stockton Pringle. In the second meeting, Team Tucson returned the favor by scoring 14 runs in the middle 3 innings to get a mercy rule 7-inning win, 16-3. Standouts for Team Tucson in that game were Michael Sayas and A.J. Ram for the offense and Alex Phillips on the mound. As I mentioned, this is the third game between the two, with the fourth and final meeting scheduled for the 2nd of July. In a minute or two, we'll check out Thursday's scores, look at the current standings, and get tonight's game started. But first, I'd like to ask you to hear about the Sun Belt College Baseball League sponsorships and ask you to support them as they support us. We encourage you to do business with these sponsors, but even if you don't, please at least let them know that you appreciate their support of the Sun Belt College Baseball and this webcast of games. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by Rincon Financial Group, Jimmy John's Restaurants, Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites, Firestone Complete Auto Care, Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at 22nd and Kalb, Elite Sporting Goods, Pima County's Kino Sports Complex, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Cazal Fire Protection Company, Stop and Go Driving School, and by Goliath Auto Sales. Just a quick note, if you'd like to see any of the games webcast this season, just go to YouTube, search the Alan Scott channel, that's A-L-L-E-N, and Scott with 2 T's, Alan Scott channel. Click on the icon, scroll down to the game that you'd like to see. We mentioned tonight's contest between Team Tucson and the Aztecs here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Tucson Champs will be taking on the Rincon Knights, and Old Pueblo Kings go against BNL Rockets in games in the South Fields. Results from last night's games: it was the Aztecs 5-1 over BNL Rockets, and the Cochise Stars with a 4-2 win over Tucson Champs. So the standings, as they are as of yesterday, in first place continues to be the Aztecs. They are 10-3. They're on a 2-game winning streak. In second place, moving up from third, the Cochise Stars, now 9-4. They are 1 game back, but they have won 3 consecutive games. In third spot, the BNL Rockets dropping down from second. They are a game and a half behind, and they are the losers of 1 game in a row. In the fourth spot, Team Tucson, one of the clubs that we'll be seeing tonight, are 6-5-1, and yes, we do have ties in this league. We're not taking these young arms and these young players and taking them into the middle of the night, potentially on a tie game that goes on and on and on. They'll play a 10th inning, and if it isn't settled at that time, they'll put a tie up there, and that's the way it stands. Anyway, Team Tucson is 3 games back. They have lost 2 in a row Tucson champs 4-9 in fifth spot, 6 games out, and they have lost 1 in a row, also 6 games out in the 6th spot by virtue of the continued losing streak. They've lost 6 in a row. The old Pueblo Kings are also 4-9. And in the 7th spot, hoping to get out of that cellar, only a half game back right now, are the Rincon Knights. They are 3-9-1, and they lost the last game. Looking forward to Saturday, the game here in the stadium will be the Team Tucson against these Aztecs, as the Aztecs will be playing 3 games in a row here in the stadium. And that's pretty much because at the very last minute we had an 8th team in the league, and they bowed out, and they had to redo the schedule about 942 times. So there are a couple of inequities as things move along here. The Tucson champs on Saturday evening, tomorrow night, will be playing the Rincon Knights, and the old Pueblo Kings will go against the BNL Rockets. Looking at some of the top players for Team Tucson, Aaron Gardner not in the starting lineup tonight. Brandon Hance will be the starting pitcher. Diego Bejarano has appointed himself rather well. Julian Diabla is at shortstop tonight, and William Dryberg will be in left field. Looking at the Aztecs, a couple of players that have been standing out for them. Alex Bustamante, who will be in center field this evening. Angel Ochoa is the shortstop, and he's done very well, and Michael Sayas will be the second baseman. Scott Pringle back in the lineup after being out for a couple of games. Those are some of the names to watch as we get ready to go here at the start of the ball game at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Little on top of things here. Got finished with our pregame comments a little bit early, so we'll take a look at the field. Down the lines, 340 feet. In the alleys, it's 390 straight away. Right field and left field 375, and center field at 405. The wind normally blows from the left-hand corner to the right-hand corner, but tonight it is blowing almost directly out to left field. Starting the game off each night, we have first base and second base with sun in their eyes, as well as the right fielder. The center fielder, although he is in sun, will be looking at a different angle, so won't have as much of a problem with the sun field as first, second, and right field. But that goes away pretty quickly. The stands on the left side of the infield block the sun, and that's the west side of the stadium. We're looking basically northeast. To the right is going to be the south, and southeast of us is the Tucson International Airport. And at the airport, they have had a temperature today of a 102. It's down to 97 at the moment. Overnight lows expected to get down into the low 70s. And, of course, that won't be happening until a little bit later, although right around the mid part of the game, there's an opportunity for the temperatures to get down into a much more comfortable mid-80s range. Still having a discussion at home plate about who's doing what and where. Don't have many problems with this ballpark because it is very, very symmetrical. It was the spring training home for many years of the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies. And then the greater Phoenix area decided that they wanted all of the teams that were working out in Arizona, and they made special deals with each of the little communities around the greater Phoenix area. And so all the teams left and went that way. We're getting ready for the national anthem. We'll be back. You'll hear very faintly it in the background as we pick it up from the PA system. Beautiful sunny day in Tucson, Arizona, as it is most of the summer and actually the winter for that matter. We do have a little bit of a, if you will, a problem later in August when we have the monsoons that come up on a reversal of winds up out of the Gulf of Mexico and stretch themselves across here. So we get some rainy seasons during that time. And then, of course, the standard rainy season in the winter time. But for the most part, it is bright and sunny almost, 340 days out of the year for sure, and maybe even more. The slight outline of the mountains that you see in the background, those are the Catalina Mountains. And very rarely do they get a whole lot of snow up there. Sorry for the quiet there, but we kind of have to cut off the music that is being played in the stadium. As you might know, YouTube has a music recognition software, and any tunes that we pick up from there wind up being copyright claimed, and so it's a little bit of a problem that way. Up to bat is Team Tucson. And the Aztecs will counter with the pitcher, Angel Castillo. Second pitch swung on and fouled off into the aluminum sunshades that are around here, make an interesting sound. Team Tucson up there with a 6-5-1 record. They're in fourth place. They've dropped a couple of games in a row as Mikey Geraldo is the first batter. Ball gets away and skirts off to the side and will go to a 1-2 count. We do have the stats in all over the place now. The ball's outside. Mentioned several times that the only stats that we're able to give is what's happening here in the stadium. But they've been working very hard and overcome the problem that we were having getting the accumulation of stats. Pitch is inside, and the count will go full here. 3-2. Geraldo batting .200 on the season. He'll be followed by Julian De Alva. Big swing and a miss and a strikeout there. First out of the top of the first inning. And Castillo records his first strikeout. Julian De Alva steps in there batting .400. He's the shortstop tonight. He'll be followed by the extra hitter, Patrick McGee. They do have 10 hitters in the lineup here in the league. First pitch to Julian is a ball. So Castillo got off to an 0-2 count, then lost it to 3-2, but finally recorded the strikeout against Mikey Geraldo. Julian De Alva looks at a called strike and then swings at one and fouls it off. As I mentioned, first and second base are in the sun. The right fielder out there, Chris Dunn, has found himself a little sliver of shade to stand in. Off-speed pitch misses high, 2-2. To the plate, 2-2 outside, and for the second batter in a row, Angel Castillo will go to a 3-2 count. 6 pitches to both batters, and this one is swung on, gets away from the catcher, and that will send D'Avila down to first base on the strikeout. That's only the second time we've seen that this season. Swing at a pitch that was down in the dirt, and the catcher, Andres Mendoza, could not corral it. It went all the way back to the backstop, and that gave D'Avila, the shortstop for Team Tucson, an opportunity to get to first base. Patrick McGee stepping in there as the extra hitter. This one also gets away from the catcher on a pitch down and in. And that will send the runner, D'Avila, over to second base. A ball one count to McGee with Alex Acevedo in the on-deck circle. This one hit towards right center field. On his horse is Chris Dunn. It goes over his head. He grabs it before it gets to the warning track, and they will hold the runner up at third. So a one-out double. And the reason that D'Avila had to kind of hold up is that Dunn had somewhat a line on it, and he had to kind of wait around second base to make sure that the ball dropped in. Acevedo is the first baseman for Team Tucson. He steps in there on the season batting .522. So Castillo is in a little bit of trouble. First pitch swinging on an off-speed pitch, 0-1. In the field are the Aztecs, up to bat Team Tucson, somewhat similar uniforms, so try to keep track of that all night. This one hit towards left center and well. It's down. Looks like it might even get all the way to the wall. It'll score at least 2. The runner, Acevedo, glides into second base with a 2 RBI double. And Team Tucson is off and running already here in the top of the first inning with 2 runs across. Alex Phillips, the batter, he's in center field tonight. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. Runner at second base, and 2 are in with 1 out here. We're in the top of the first inning, just getting underway. This one down in the dirt, Mendoza able to corral it. And the count goes to 2-0. First base is open. Phillips, as I mentioned, the center fielder. .357 his average on the season. We do have this one gets away, and that will send the runner over to third, and it's 3 balls. Talked several times up to this point that the electronic scorekeeping system that we have here has been doing fine with the minute-to-minute type scoring, but they have fallen short when the accumulation is necessary to give an overall season situation. So we just got those things done late this afternoon and got them through an email for each individual team. 3-0 called strike, 3-1. 2 in, 1 out, runner on third. 2 consecutive doubles. This one way outside, and that'll it'll put runners on first and third. And 1 out, and that'll bring up William Dryberg. Dryberg in center field, check that, in left field tonight, batting .310. And we will have a little discussion to see what might be troubling Angel Castillo. Last night, the Aztecs were unable to get anything going until the 7th inning, and then they wound up scoring 2 in one inning and 3 in another to come away with a 5-1 victory. William Dryberg, the left fielder, down low for a ball, as Castillo is having a little bit of trouble getting that first pitch strike over. He did to the first batter, and he also did to the fourth batter, but he's had 4 consecutive hitters here that he's been unable to get that first pitch strike, waving at an outside pitch. Dryberg comes up missing, and it's a 1-1 count. Wouldn't be unusual to see Alex Phillips take off from first base here. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Lots of times on an 0-2 and a 1-2 count, the pitcher will throw basically a waste pitch to try to get the batter going after it, and this would be an excellent time for Phillips to take off from first. Keeping an eye on him. Stays home. Big swing, and the second out of the inning, both of them by way of strikeouts. But in and around and through that, actually 3 strikeouts in the inning. A strikeout to the second hitter, Julian D'Alva, got away from the catcher, and he was able to go down to first, and the out was therefore not recorded. Then 2 doubles in a row and a walk, and now another strikeout. Luis Morales, the runner goes on a hit and run, fouled off to the right side, 0-1. Morales is the second baseman tonight for Team Tucson. He's batting .364. And we'll mention once again, that is now a cumulative stat. Up until this time, we've been just giving the numbers that we knew about here in the stadium. Sometimes it didn't look so good for some players because they were doing very well on the south fields. High and away, waved at and missed. Richard Ware is holding the runner at first, but everybody in the infield is back. So we'll keep an eye on Phillips to see if he takes off. 0-2. A waste pitch a lot of times makes it difficult for a catcher to do anything. This one wrapped into center field, and it'll score another run, and that's what gives pitching coaches gray hair. An 0-2 pitch got it close enough for Morales could reach out there and pop it into center field. And that is an RBI single, and the third run to come in here in the top of the first inning as Team Tucson is off to a great start. Phillips moves over to second, and that will bring up the 8th hitter in the lineup. Big swing for Manny Carino. Carino is at third base this evening. At the set, 0-1. Long look back at second base, a second look, and then to the plate, and misses 0-2. So the second batter in a row, 0-2. Unfortunately for Castillo, on what might be considered a waste pitch, he left it out over the plate, and Luis Morales got a base hit and an RBI. This one fouled off. The count will stay 0-2. The right side of the infield still battling the sun, but the outfielders are now tucked in the shade. Outside corner just misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lights are on here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. They don't try to play games whether it's going to be on early or on late or whatever. This one lifted off to the right side as the runners were taking off 1-2. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To the plate. Outside corner called strike. And that will be the 4th strikeout of the inning for Castillo. But unfortunately for the young man, there were a couple of doubles in there as well, and a walk and a strikeout that got the runner to first base. And at the end of 1/2 inning of play, it is 3 for Team Tucson and the Aztecs, nothing. Rincon Financial Group is a Tucson organization that understands that individuals face unique challenges as they prepare for retirement. The Rincon Group is standing by to take the mystery out of preparing for today and tomorrow. What goal do you have? Retirement preparation, college savings, estate strategy? Well, the personalized services of the Rincon Financial Group standing ready to focus on your needs, wants, and financial goals. Going to the bottom of the first with the Aztecs in a hole, 3-0. And Michael Saez, the second baseman, will step up. First pitch swings, sends it to right field, and sends the right fielder, Mikey Geraldo, way back to his right side, but he finally catches up with it, and the first out of the bottom of the first inning. Stockton Pringle, the left fielder, will be stepping in now. He's batting .357 on the season. And then comes the shortstop, Angel Ochoa. On the mound for Team Tucson is Brandon Hance. Try to get some numbers on him. Like I said, the statistics came in very late today as they finished him up. The cumulative ones that we've been talking about. First pitch to Pringle is a ball. Second swung on and misses. 1-1 count, nobody on, one out here rather, and it's outside part of the plate, misses. 2-1. This one swung on and hit to shallow center field, but playing pretty shallow was Alex Phillips, and he steps in and grabs the ball out of the air for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down, and Angel Ochoa will step in. Couple of outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Outside corner called strike. Down low for a ball, and the count evens out 1-1. 93 degrees currently at the airport, which is about 5 miles southeast of us. So I would suspect it's at or near that temperature here. Breaking pitch, inside corner called strike, 1-2. Infield is Carino, De Avila, Morales, and Acevedo. Fouled off to the right side. Check the outfield, Dryberg in left, Phillips in center, and Geraldo in right. Behind the plate for Team Tucson tonight, John Hudson, and on the mound is Brandon Hance. Hance rocks and fires. Inside, jammed him. couldn't get the bat head around and swings at it and misses. And that will be the third out of the inning with nothing across for the Aztecs here. So after one full inning of play, it is Team Tucson 3 and the Aztecs nothing. Your Jimmy John's restaurant locations in and around the Tucson area know how much you care about freshness. That's why they spend hours in preparation every day just to make your sandwich in just 30 seconds. You get the freshest breads, all natural meats, and hand-sliced veggies every time. Stop by the store, or you can order online if it's more convenient. Online ordering at jimmyjohns.com. We've got 9-10-1 coming up here in the top of the second inning. John Hudson, the catcher, looks at the first pitch outside for a ball. He'll be followed by Diego Bejarano. And then to the top of the order, popped up on the right side. Over to look at it is Richard Ware. Dances around and drops it. Foul. No, they're going to call it foul. I thought he dropped it in fair territory. Well, what happened is he touched it in foul territory, and it popped out of his glove and dropped into fair territory. So the first touching was actually in foul territory, and so Richard Ware avoids the embarrassment of dropping a pop fly ball, at least beyond it being somebody on base. Pitch turns John Hudson around, and the count goes to 2-1. Hudson stepping in on the season 308, high and away for a ball, and will go to a 3-ball count. This is the third time in the ball game that Castillo has gone to a 3-ball count. Comes back with a fastball high, swung on and missed. 3-2. Third time also for a 3-2 count. This one fouled off. So we'll go to the 7th pitch of the at-bat with nobody on in the top of the second inning. The infield for the Aztecs, just a second, we'll give it to you. High and inside for a ball. And that will be the first walk, second walk rather, given up by Castillo. Diego Bejarano, he's the designated hitter tonight, batting .375 on the season for Team Tucson. And they're going to try to add to the 3 runs that they pushed across in the top of the first inning. They do have pinch runners in this league. So Angel Martinez, who goes out to run for the catcher. Generally, they do the running for the catcher. Pitchers don't hit in this league. Outside for a ball, second batter in a row that Castillo has been unable to get a first pitch strike in. Finished up the first inning with 2 in a row first pitch strikes. Actually had both batters 0-2. Lost one of them to a base hit. Off-speed pitch swung on and missed. 1-1. Light's beginning to take over here ever so slightly as sunset is either at or about finished. Swung on and missed outside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The wind continues to blow unusually out towards the west. Check that, out towards the north, meaning to left field. Normally it goes from left corner to right corner. 1-2 pitch way outside, will square it up at 2-2. In the first inning, Castillo threw 34 pitches, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs. Two. This one lifted to center field, driving Bustamante back and back farther. It's going to reach the warning track, and that will wind up to be a stand-up double. So the second runner in a row on, sending the runner Martinez for Hudson around to third. That is the third double recorded here for Team Tucson in the early going. A 2-run double by Alex Acevedo, the fourth hitter, brought around the first 2 runs. We're up to the top of the order with Micah Giraldo. Big swing first pitch, misses it. 0-1. Runners on second and third. Pretty much an identical pitch and an identical swing with the identical results, 0-2. First base is open. We have Martinez, the runner for Hudson, on third, and Bejarano on second. He just doubled. This one wrapped solidly into left field, and it'll get down. The runner on second had to kind of hold up to see whether the left fielder might have gotten over there. But after all is said and done, he does get around. And that is a 2 RBI single for Giraldo. That will send home Martinez, who was running for Hudson. And around from second base to score the 4th run of the game, Diego Bejarano. So Castillo has been surrendering a hit parade here. Kind of got started off on a bad foot for him, called strike to Julian De Alva. De Alva struck out in the first inning, but the ball got away from the catcher, and De Alva got on first base. Second pitch is a called strike, 0-2. And that kind of started the floodgates. Then a double and a walk and a run-scoring base hit plated the 3 in the first inning. Big swing and miss. This time Mendoza hangs on to it. It is the first out of the inning, and it is the 5th strikeout, surprisingly, by Castillo, as he's been pretty effective. He either strikes him out or they get a base hit off of him. Not exactly that ratio, but that seems to be the pattern as Patrick McGee steps in. McGee got a double, looks at the first one as a called strike. He is the extra hitter, and then he wound up coming around to score. When Acevedo got a double, a 2-run double, a big swing and a miss, 0-2. So Castillo, despite his early problems, is coming right after the hitters. Last 3 hitters, as a matter of fact, he's had them 0-2. Outside pitch for a ball, 1-2. Pringle in left, Bustamante in center, and Dunn in right. We'll check the infield for you here for the Aztecs in just a second. 1-2 pitch on the way, runner on first base. Down in the dirt, Mendoza grabs a hold of it to keep it from going through and sending Giraldo over to second base. Infield of Escariga at third, Ochoa at short, Seas at second, and Ware at first. Mendoza behind the plate and Angel Castillo on the mound. Big swing and a miss, and the second out of the inning here, and 6 strikeouts in 13 batters. But unfortunately for Mr. Castillo, 5 runs have come across. 5 runs on 5 hits. Alec Acevedo, the first baseman, came into the ball game batting .522, looks at the first pitch as a called strike. He got a 2-run double in the first inning to plate the first 2, and then he himself came around when Luis Morales got a run-scoring base hit. Fastball swung on and fouled at the plate, 0-2. So 3-4 consecutive batters now, 0-2, as Castillo has really dug in. Maybe he has a bit of anger going there after giving up a couple of hits. And 2 runs in the inning. Runner goes, swung on, hit down towards third. It's fair ball, knocked down by Escariga, and he can't do anything with it. That will send Geraldo over to second. Acevedo is now 2 for 2, and Alex Phillips will come up. He got a base on balls in the first inning. He of the .357 batting average to start off the game, which of course will remain the same because the walk doesn't count as an at-bat. Boy, that ball was right on the bag. Escariga just barely backhanded it to keep it around. This one softly lined out to the second baseman, Michael Saez, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. However, and there's always that however to look at, 2 runs come across, and at the end of 1.5, it is Team Tucson 5 and the Aztecs yet to score. The Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and 2-run suites. Did I say 2-run? Baseball's on my mind here. Anyway, 2-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on a 42-inch flat-screen HD TV. And many rooms have patio doors opening out to a quiet, tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay. Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites. Starting off the bottom of the second inning, Sal Escariga, the third baseman. He'll be followed by Alex Bustamante from center field. First pitch to Escariga is outside for a ball. Brandon Hance on the mound for Team Tucson had a very efficient first inning, only threw 10 pitches and got the Aztecs 1-2-3. Second pitch is outside for a ball. Third hitter in the lineup for this particular inning is Chris Dunn, the right fielder. Hance rocks and fires, big swing by Escariga, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Hit sharply to the hole. Across to get it is Carino, up with it and on a hop to first base. Scooped out nicely by Acevedo, and the 5-3 out is recorded. So a nice job on both ends to get the first out of the second inning, the bottom of the second, and this will bring up Alex Bustamante. First pitch to Bustamante, outside corner for a called strike. This one pounded at the plate and fouled to the right side. And Alex, the center fielder for the Aztecs, finds himself in the hole to Brandon Hance, 0-2. 1 out in the bottom of the second inning, nobody on. And the lights beginning to take over here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. In the dirt, where it well should be, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lifted to right center field, playing over towards the line was Geraldo, but he gets over and grabs it in right center field. Had quite a ways to go, mostly from the standpoint that he was swung well over towards the line in right field, but the ball held up long enough to be able to allow Mikey Geraldo to get underneath it, and that retires Bustamante for the second out of the bottom of the second. Chris Dunn will step in. Chris batting .500, 11 hits and 22 times at bat on the season. Outside corner for a called strike. To the plate, misses inside. This will be the 11th pitch of the bottom of the second, exceeding his 10-pitch output in the first inning, so very efficient is Mr. Hance. This one lifted high to the left side and shallow. Getting over to look it over is the left fielder, Dryberg, and unfortunately for him, it comes off the end of his glove. Kind of tough in a high sky here. Give the young man credit for the fact that this is a difficult time to find balls up in the air. He did get a glove on it, and it'll be the first error of the ball game, and that will bring up the catcher, Andres Mendoza. Mendoza batting .394 on the season with 2 outs and first base open. 5-0 in favor of Team Tucson. They can ill afford having people dropping balls out there. This one sliced into the stands and out of play. Team Tucson can afford a muff or two, but you don't want to set the precedent there. They're up 5-0. Off-speed pitch pounded down. Hance over to pick it up, and he's got no play. Kind of a swinging bunt there, but it will look like a line drive in the scorebook. The runner Dunn moves over to third. And with 2 outs, we'll have runners on first and third, and they'll get a pinch runner for the catcher. For the Aztecs, it'll be Ethan Coleman. Well, I thought it was number 2, but that isn't what they announced, so we'll let it go at that. Anyway, there's a runner for Mendoza. This first pitch is fouled off by the first baseman, Richard Ware. Move to first and nothing going on there. At the set, 0-1. Off-speed pitch rifled into left field, and that will put a runner in for the Aztecs as they break the ice here with an RBI single by the first baseman, Ware. Moving over to second will be the runner for Mendoza. And coming in to score will be Chris Dunn, who got on a 2-base error. So it is an unearned run, but a run nonetheless. Alex Kelch is the batter. Alex, a new acquisition for the Aztecs, and we don't have anything on him from the standpoint of statistics. Let me look in one other position here and see if I can find something on Alex Kelch. 1-0, 2 outs, runners on first and second. This one hit down towards the shortstop, De Alva, and he muffs it. Little bit of a problem with errors here in the league this year, and that will load him up. And that will bring up John Dormanen. Dormanen batting a healthy .455. Kelch was batting .500 here in the stadium. Don't know what he did on the outlying fields. So a 2-out rally here going on for the Aztecs. They've pushed one across. It's an unearned run. First pitch is outside for a ball to Durmanen. With 2 outs, the runner will take off with the stroke of the bat. This one hit well, but Mikey Geraldo in right field didn't even have to move a foot. He just stood there and watched the thing come into his glove, and that rings up 3 left on here in the bottom of the second inning. But 1 run does come across, and after 2 full innings of play, it is the Aztecs 1, Team Tucson 5. Firestone Complete Car Auto Care is your go-to tire shop in the greater Tucson area. You can find the right tires online or in the store. 5 locations to choose from. 7950 East Speedway, 4800 block of East Sunrise, 290 West Wetmore Road, 3501 East Broadway, and the 2400 block of North First Street. Anywhere you go for Firestone Complete Auto Care, you will not be disappointed. First batter up in the top of the third inning for Team Tucson will be the left fielder, William Dryberg. Dryberg struck out swinging in the first inning, and I would suspect that he would like very much to step in there and hit the ball, which he does to right center field. It's very high, and the right fielder is over, and just at the last second, Chris Dunn reaches up and grabs it for the out. One thing about this temperature here in Tucson, it is 93 degrees, but that's warm enough to keep a ball running through very light air, and an opportunity to be able to get that thing to go a little bit farther than outfielders might expect, and that was almost the case for Chris Dunn. Stepping in now is Luis Morales. Morales got an RBI single in the first inning, looks at the first pitch above the letters for a ball. Lewis is playing second base tonight. Stepped in, batting .364. This one wrapped right back through the mound. Castillo kind of lifted his leg to keep from being hit in the back of the calf, and it's a base hit there. Seventh base hit for the Team Tucson as they are leading this thing 5-1. The next hitter is Manny Carrillo. Carrillo, struggling a bit with the bat, is batting .125. First pitch swinging right through to right field. Ochoa diving for it. If he could have come up with it, he might have been able to force the runner out at second because it was hard hit ball. So Carrillo comes up with a base hit. 1 out and runners on first and second. John Hudson, the catcher, who got a walk in the second inning and ultimately came around to score on a 2 RBI single by Mikey Geraldo, the right fielder. So Hudson up there had a 7-pitch at bat in the second inning and wound up walking inside corner for a called strike. Castillo's given up 2 walks so far tonight, along with the 8 hits now. Has surrendered 5 runs to this point anyway. This one hit between first and second, and that will load him up. The right fielder, Chris Dunn, playing rather shallow, gets in and returns it quickly to the infield. Carrillo will now move over to second base, and stopping at third will be Luis Morales, and Diego Bejarano with a double in the second inning and batting over 375 now on the season will step in there. We'll try to pick up some of the scores from the outlying fields. Big swing and a miss, down and away on a strike. First and third are looking to come home if the ball comes to them directly. Short and second hoping for the double play. They have one out here, so a double play would erase a run at the plate. Outside skirts away from Mendoza, and everybody will move up 90 feet. Andrus thought he had it, and then it squirted through what they call the 5-hole in ice hockey and rolled all the way to the backstop, so that'll bring in run number 6 for Team Tucson. First base is now open, 1-1 count. Outside corner for a called strike, 1-2. At the set, 1-2, hit sharply down to first baseman. Ware gets his glove on it and bounces it over towards the second baseman, Saez, who comes up with it and tosses back to Ware to get the out. So it went from 3 to 4 to 3 for a ground out. It is the second out of the inning. However, another run comes down. The runner for Hudson is now over at third. Kino came in on the fielder's choice. This one hit sharply over the shortstop, and another run will come in. So an RBI single for Mikey Geraldo, who had an RBI 2-run single in the second inning. And that will bring up Julian Diavola, the shortstop. Diavola struck out but got on base in the first inning with a pass ball. Outside corner misses for a ball. And then Julian struck out swinging in the second inning. We have a couple of outs with 3 runs in now. This one fouled off to the right side, and the count will go even at 1-1. 8-1 now the count. Big swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. These two teams have not seemed really content to let the other off the hook. The Aztecs won big in the first time out. Team Tucson winning pretty large here. Soft pop up to the second baseman gathered in by Michael Saez, and that will accomplish the third out, but not before some damage is done here as 3 come across. And at the end of 2.5, it is 8-1 in favor of Team Tucson. You know, when you want really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at 22nd and Cobb. Chewy's knows what Southwestern tastes are all about, and they are there to satisfy, and well, they do. My wife and I had an opportunity to go out there, about 4 or 5 days ago, and really had a delicious meal at Chewy's at 22nd Street. They're open until 10 o'clock on weeknights and Sundays, until 11 on Fridays, and until midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, decor, and drinks at Chewy's at East 22nd Street and Cobb. Leadoff hitter in the bottom of the third inning promptly strikes a ball to Diavola, and he gets it over from shortstop to first base as we got up to the top of the order there. That was Michael Sayas, the second baseman, out 6-3, first out of the bottom of the third. Stockton Pringle will be the hitter. He flew out to Alex Phillips in center in the first inning. High and away for the first pitch to Pringle for a ball. One count, misses for a ball, 2-1. Next batter is Angel Ochoa. This triumvirate of batters, this one lifted to right center field. Trying to get over to it is Mikey Geraldo, and he does, in fact, get there. Second out of the inning, I was going to say the same three batters that are up this inning for sure were a 1-2-3 out in the first inning, as Brandon Hance threw only 10 pitches in the first inning, 19 pitches in the second, so 29 here as he started off the bottom of the third inning with an 8-1 lead. First pitch swinging for a strike. Ochoa came into the ballgame today batting .436 on the year. He struck out swinging in the first inning. Hance quickly to the plate, misses outside, 1-1. More and more the lights are taking over here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. This is one of my favorite times of the evening with the sun down. Big swing and a miss. With the sun down and the light blue skies illuminated just slightly behind the mountain range out there, you have a very attractive outline of the Catalina Mountains over left field and center field. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one hit sharply into center field, and it will drop for a base hit. So a 2-out base runner will bring Sal Escariga. He grounded out to the third baseman, Manny Carino, in the second inning. That is the third hit given up by Brian Hance. So far he has 1 strikeout. This off-speed pitch drops in there very nicely for Hance, and a called strike. Ochoa on first with a 2-out single, bottom of the third inning. Move to first, almost catches Ochoa leaning, but he gets back in time. Swung on and hit foul left side. We have picked up 1 score in the outlying fields. In the top of the fourth inning, it's the BNL Rockets 2-0 over the Kings. Try to pick up that other score here shortly. Off-speed pitch, fisted into center field. Coming on strong as the center fielder, Phillips, but he can't hang on to it. And I'm going to suspect that they will score that a base hit. Runner goes around to third base. And in fact, it is scored a base hit by the official scorer. And Alex Bustamante, the center fielder, will step in there. Alex came into the game batting .333, flew out to right field in the second inning. This one hit strongly to left center. On the way out there to get it are the outfielders. It takes 1 bounce and is finally corralled at the warning track, and that will be a stand-up double. Escariga moves around to third on the RBI double by Alec Bustamante. And the Aztecs are on the board now for the second time. Well, if they keep pecking away at it as they move along here and not give up any more runs, they might have an opportunity to eclipse the situation. Chris Dunn, the right fielder, got on a two-base error by the outfield. First pitch to him is a ball. This one hit towards second. A diving stop by Morales, and he gets on his feet and gets the out at first base, 4-3. Third out, and that ends the bottom of the third inning. One run comes across for the Aztecs, and after 3 full innings of play, it is Team Tucson 8 and the Aztecs 2. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in equipment and uniforms for all sports, plus work for companies, and they also take care of school uniforms. Now, there's a full range of services that they have, including silk screening, embroidery, heat press, custom printing, banners, and a whole lot more. Elite Sporting Goods is over there on South Campbell. They're at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web, Elite Sporting Goods. Coming to the top of the fourth inning now, Angel Castillo still on the mound for the Aztecs, and he comes to the first pitch fouled off to the extra hitter, Patrick McGee. McGee got a double and came around to score in the first inning, struck out swinging in the second. Pitch misses, and a 1-1 count will be on the boards. Well, for some reason, we're missing that other ball game out on the outer fields. I'm not sure exactly what the story is on that. This one is a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one hit between second base and first base for a base hit into right field. Over to get it is the right fielder, Chris Dunn. And that will bring up Alec Acevedo. Acevedo on a roll tonight. He is 2 for 2 with a 2-run producing double in the first inning and a single in the second. So Team Tucson right back at it here as they have an 8-2 lead, and we're only in the top of the fourth inning. And that was the 11th base hit turned in by the Team Tucson gang. First pitch is down and away for a ball. Nobody up in the bullpen for Team Tucson, outside corner for a called strike. For the Aztecs, however, they do have somebody warming up out in the bullpen. We'll see if we can't pick up a number. Well, he's a left-hander, so that means his back will never be to us out there, so we'll have to wait and watch. Pounded at the plate, foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Acevedo came into the ballgame batting .522, and he has certainly elevated that here with 2 base hits, 1 in the first and 1 in the second, a double and a single. Runner on first is McGee. Nobody out in the top of the fourth. High and away, even up at 2-2. lifted softly to short right field. A big run for Chris Dunn, but he gets over there. Came a long way to pick that one off, about 10 feet inside the right field line and maybe 20 feet outside the skin infield. So Chris came a long way to be able to pick that one up. And it is the first out of the top of the fourth inning, and that will bring up Alex Phillips. Phillips walked in the first and hit a soft line drive out to Michael Sayas at second base in the second inning. We're in the top of the fourth. Big swing and can't hook up with anything there. At the set, 0-1. High, throw to first base, not in time. That's a good time for a catcher to do something like that when it's high and away and his momentum is going that way. Might as well throw it there and take a shot at getting the runner at first. But McGee was back in safely. Alex Phillips at the bat, a 2018 graduate of Catalina High School. This one lifted foul to the right side. So Alex will go in the hole 1 and 2. One ball, two strikes, a runner on first and one out. Kind of a half thought about swinging, decided not to, and he got rung up. Second out of the inning. That is the 7th strikeout for Angel Castillo. You would never know that he had that many strikeouts. Here he is trailing 8-2. But it has been feast or famine for the young man. The left fielder, William Dryberg, very aggressively going after the first pitch and missing it. William goes to Kansas Wesleyan University, and he went to Bishop LeBon High School, and that is in St. Joseph's, Missouri. 1-1 the count goes. Couple of players here out of Kansas Wesleyan. Aaron Gardner, this pitch swung on and missed, 1-2, is also on the Team Tucson. A third player, Frank Folsom, neither in the lineup tonight. At the set, outside corner is where the catcher sets up, but it gets a little bit too far outside, and the count goes to 2-2. Couple of outs, runner on first. Dryberg came into the ballgame batting .310, struck out swinging in the first and flew out to right field. Strikes out swinging here in the top of the fourth inning, and that will do it for the fourth inning. Nothing across for the Aztecs. And they will remain at 2. And we will go to the bottom of the fourth, or the top of the fourth inning. It needs to be Kino Stadium on the 4th of July. Listen to this. A spectacular fireworks show following an all-star 7-inning baseball game that starts at 6:30 in the evening. Gates will open at 5, and they will open to dollar hot dogs, giveaways, a kids' fun zone with games, music, and much more. All of this for just $4, plus you can get free parking if you buy advance tickets. The advance ticket and free parking deal is available at Pizza Hut, Food City, or the Cactus Bowling Alley. Kino Stadium, 4th of July. Gates open at 5. Game starts at 6:30. Fireworks probably right around 9 o'clock. First pitch swinging is Andres Mendoza, and hops one over the shortstop's head for a base hit. Nothing across for Team Tucson in the top of the fourth inning. 3.5 in the books, and it is Team Tucson 8-2. Hoffman will be the courtesy runner at first base for the catcher, and this will bring up Richard Ware. He got an RBI single in the second inning. That's the only run across to that point for the Aztecs. They pushed another run across in the third, but they had given up 3 in the top of the third, and they trail 8-2 here. First pitch, a ball. At the set is Brandon Hance. This one fouled left side, 1-1. Brandon, a total of 41 pitches through 3 innings. On deck hitter is Alex Kelch. Wehrman, a nice play at first, knocking a ball that he had to dive for to his right that was headed to right field. He knocked it over to the second baseman, who threw it back to Ware and got the out. High and away. 2 balls and a strike. Still don't understand why we don't have that third game out there. Top of the 5th inning, B&L 3-1 over the Kings. This one hit sharply down to the third baseman. Kino up with it, throws it high and wide to first base, draws the first baseman Acevedo off the bag, and that will be an error. Runner moves up to second base, is the pinch runner for Mendoza. So runner in scoring position, 2 men on here. Alex Kelch is the hitter. Alex, new to the team, batting .500. It's going to be a little bit lower than that because he got on an error in the second inning. Bunts it down the third baseline and rolls foul. Kelch, one of the number of players that plays for or is committed to Pima Community College. There are 19 of them. Kelch came out of Tucson High School in 2018. So he will come back and try to do whatever again. Tried to bunt, move him along. Inside at the knees for a called strike, and right away Alex finds himself 0-2. Hance moving along with an 8-2 lead. Only has 1 strikeout, however. This pitch way outside for a ball. Conversely, the pitcher that is behind 8-2 has 7 strikeouts. Dormanen is the on-deck hitter. Way outside. Nice move by Hudson to backhand it and keep the runners from moving up. At the set is Hance. To the plate, fisted over the second baseman's head and into right field. That'll score a runner from third. The runner from first base around, he also scores, and that will be a 2-run producing double as the Aztecs beginning to find their measure here. Well, we're so concerned about keeping the audio when the music is playing down. My apologies to you. We had the volume down. We don't have a VU meter to see what's going on. Anyway, that was a 2 RBI double, and that was by Alex Kelch. This one lifted foul to the left side. John Dormanen will have a first pitch strike. Dormanen batting .455 is the designated hitter tonight. He flew out to right field in the second inning. So 2 runs across. It's now 8-4. And inside corner called strike. Oh, the trials and tribulations of not having an engineer. This one swung on, fouled back to the screen. Actually, I was practicing being a mime there. I hope you enjoyed it. (0-2), first base is open. And stepping off the mound is Hance. An explanation about the trying to kill the mic during between innings. We'll explain that in a second. High and away for a ball. YouTube has a music recognition software that if they hear music in the background or part of your production, and it is righted music down low kept in front of by John Houston, if it is music that you have to buy rights for, then they will copyright your presentation and block any archive of it without regard to the fact that Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium and the Kino Sports Complex has paid those rights. High and away for a ball, and the count will go 3-2, 7th pitch of the at-bat. The thing about it was that discretion was the better part of valor there rather than fighting City Hall and trying to get a waiver. What we're doing is killing the mic whenever music is playing in the background. This one lifted to center field. Coming on is Phillips, and he grabs the line drive out, and there's no advance. That's the first out of the inning, and we will go to the top of the inning. Michael Seas, who is 0 for 2 despite the fact coming in batting .400. Stockton Pringle will be in the on-deck circle. He also is 0 for 2. The Aztecs beginning to find their stroke here as they've scored 2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Big swing by Seas for a strike. Michael, one of our all-star candidates based on his fine performance to this point of the season. This one fouled off to the right side, and the second baseman for the Aztecs finds himself in a hole 0-2. '20th pitch of the inning here for Hance, and it's a ball. So he is up to 62 pitches now. First base is open, 1 out. 2 runs in for the Aztecs. Lifted foul to the right side. Misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. Looking at the infield, Carino at third, Diavla at short, Morales at second, and Acevedo is at first. This one reached out and tapped towards the second baseman, Morales, and he gets the ball over to first base for the out. It is the second out of the inning, and that will move the runner, Kelch, over to third base. Stockton Pringle, .357 is his batting average. Boy, he got off to a tremendous start. He was batting close to .600 after about 4 games being played in the Sun Belt Summer League here. But he's 0 for 2 now, and the batting average is down to .357. A couple of outs in the bottom of the 4th and 2 runs in. This one lifted foul to the right side. Check the outfield for you. Left, Dryberg. Center, Phillips. And right, Geraldo. 0-1 pitch. Just missed at the knees and low for a 1-1 count. Hance at the set to the plate. Just misses outside. Pringle had a thought. They asked the base umpire what up, and he said no, he did not go around. So the count goes to 2-1. Misses inside, 3-1. 8-4 now in the bottom of the fourth inning outside, and a walk is issued. That is only the first walk given up by Hance. Let me double check that here. Well, that is true. Angel Ochoa, the shortstop, the third hitter in the lineup, came into the ballgame batting .436. He is 1 for 2, got a base hit in the third and scored, struck out swinging in the first. This one lifted to right center field. On his horse is Geraldo, and he won't get it. It's going to roll to the wall, and that will bring at least one run in, and that will have the runner Ochoa rounding third and heading for home. The throw to home is not in time. It will not be scored as a home, well, it'll be scored, I guess, as a home run, but I suspect it will be scored as a double and a two-base error by the right fielder, but we'll check and see what the story is on that. So 2 more runs come in, and suddenly the game is 8-6 as Team Tucson got off to an 8-1 lead and now have relinquished the comfort of that lead. The next hitter is Escariga. He got a base hit last time up, grounded out to third base the first time. This one is lifted high to center field. Alex Phillips dancing around underneath it, and he reaches up one-handed and grabs it for the out. Drives me crazy to see those one hands up there grabbing the ball, because you never know when it's going to hit on the heel of the glove and bounce out. But without regard to that, there are 4 across here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and after 4 full innings of play, it's Team Tucson coming up. They have 8, and the Aztecs have 6. Cazal has been a leader in all aspects of fire protection since 1982. Cazal Fire Protection Company serves both home and business locations by providing design, planning, and management of your fire protection needs. Cazal has an extensive knowledge in fire protection, and they work very hard to keep their fine reputation. Look online to find Cazal Fire Protection Company, first in quality, serving with pride. Luis Morales will lead things off here in the 5th inning. He looks at the first pitch, a ball, and we have a new pitcher out there. It is Travis Higdon coming in here in the top of the 5th inning. Left-hander to the plate, big swing and a miss, 1-1. Morales got an RBI single in the first inning, a base hit, and came around to score in the third. He'll be followed by Manny Carino and John Hudson, the catcher. This one wrapped right back up through the middle. The shortstop, Ochoa, over to try to handle it and is unable to do so. So we'll see if that doesn't rack up the second error for the Aztecs. Keeping an eye on the scoreboard out there. They have one error on the board to this point. They had 7 hits coming into this inning, so apparently there's going to be a discussion with the scorekeeper, and we'll try to keep an eye on what happens there. Manny Carino steps in. Carino struck out looking. First pitch is swung on and missed. He struck out looking in the first inning and got a base hit and came around to score in the third inning. High and away for a ball, 1-1. Fouled off to the screen to the right side. Just another reminder that the on-deck hitter needs to keep their eyes open. That wasn't too far over his head. Escarigo, Ochoa, Seas, and Ware, the infield for the Aztecs. Down low, the ball blocked by Mendoza, gets away from him just a little bit, but does not allow an advance. They still have not posted whether that is a hit or an error. Down low, and the ball, we're going to go full count to the new relief pitcher, Travis Higdon. Well, they do finally rack up a base hit there, so that's the 12th hit for Team Tucson here. And a first walk given up by Travis Higdon as he comes into the game. Moving over to second base will be Luis Morales, and the catcher John Hudson will be up there. Hudson is 1 for 1 on the day, walked and scored in the second and got a base hit and scored in the third. On the knees inside for a called strike. Higdon at the set, looks back at second, comes to the plate, way high, 1-1. One pitch, reaches around to bunt, but has the bat too low and comes up on the ball. Gets it in the air, but it's a foul ball as it comes back towards the screen. Bejarano is in the on-deck circle. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and looking at the knees for a strikeout. That's the first out of the top of the 5th inning. First strikeout for Higdon. And Diego Bejarano, the designated hitter, got a double in the second inning and was out on a ground ball from the first baseman to the second baseman back to the first baseman on a really fine play by the first baseman, Ware. Slapped the ball down that was headed for right field. Pitch is down low for a ball. He got enough of a glove on it to shove it over towards the second baseman, Seas, who got it back to Ware for the out. The ball was hard hit, so they did have a little time to kick it around a bit. Inside and low, ball 2, 2-0. Chris Dunn in right field, pretty much straight away, but the center fielder Bustamante has swung over towards left field, so there's a big gap in right center. 2-0 count. Hit him. So that will load them up. Kino will move to second base, and over to third will be Morales. So the base is jammed here. The Aztecs did a fine job of getting back in the ball game in the bottom of the fourth inning, but they are in jeopardy of giving it back here. Once again, apologize for having to dump out when the music is playing there because of that copyright program that is watched, and we can't seem to convince them that we've already paid the rights for it. Checking the top of the sixth inning, it's the BNL Rockets 3-1 over the Kings. The other game on the south fields we have not been able to come up with. The batter will be number 13, Mikey Geraldo. He is the right fielder, came into the game batting .200, but has 2 singles and 3 RBIs tonight. He did strike out swinging in the first inning. Looks at the first pitch, a ball. So Higdon with a base hit, a walk, and a hit batter, next pitch is a strike, has loaded him up with 1 out, and we are in the top of the 5th inning. To the plate, high and away. 2-1. Higdon came in to start this inning, that being the top of the 5th inning. Rocks and deals, 2-1. Way outside, and it gets away. So a run will score on the wild pitch. And the count will go to 3-1 to Mikey Geraldo. Everybody else moves up, so now first base is open. Three-one pitch, way outside, and the second walk of the inning. Walks and errors will kill you. They're loaded up again, and Julian D'Avila is the shortstop tonight. He was the one that kind of started the floodgates here for Team Tucson. First pitch to him is right down Main Street for a called strike. He struck out in the first inning, but the ball got away from Mendoza, the catcher, and D'Avila got to first base. This one high for ball 1-1. So D'Avila ultimately came around and scored the first run of the game for Team Tucson. Struck out swinging in the second and popped out to the second baseman in the third, high and away. 2-1, actually high and in. 2-1, outside corner called strike, 2-2. Outfielders have taken a couple of 3 steps in, hoping to cut off anything at home that they might be able to do. Way high, as Higdon is just having a terrible time finding his control tonight. First and third will probably come home if it goes to them. Short and second will try to double up. Big swing and a strikeout. Second out of the inning. Second strikeout for Higdon, along with 2 walks and a hit batter is what's gotten him into the situation here, and that'll bring up Patrick McGee. McGee, a double in the first inning, struck out swinging in the second, and a base hit in the fourth. Started out the evening batting .419. This one hammered foul to the left side. Over to grab it is Escariga at third base, and it'll be an 0-1 count. Mentioned several times that we had trouble getting the individual scorers and their electronic scoring into a cumulative situation. But now that has not been straightened out, but they handled it manually. This one wrapped to center field. A little bit of a late start for Bustamante, but he grabs the line drive to his right, and that creates the last out of the top of the fifth inning, but not before a run comes across. And after 4.5 innings of play, it is 9 for Team Tucson and 7 for the Aztecs. O'Reilly Chevrolet would like to let you know about their 95th anniversary tent sale. It's one heck of a sale. It's going to go on all month, and they have savings. You ready for this? 20% off MSRP on the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs on their lot. Yes, the sale goes on all month, but to get the best selection, head on over to 6160 East Broadway, O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet, the good folks that know how to provide best in sales and service. Brandon Hance is still out there for Team Tucson. 71 pitches through 4 innings. Had a rough outing in the 4th inning. Gave up 5 runs. But his team, Team Tucson, came back with 1 in the top of the inning. This one popped up, and it'll be taken by the catcher. Alex Bustamante had the bat way too low to be able to get a ball on the ground. So he pops up to the catcher. First out of the bottom of the 5th inning. The Aztecs pushed across 5 in the 4th and got back in the game, gave 1 back in the top of the 5th. We're now in the bottom of the 5th with Chris Dunn coming up to bat. Chris got on a 2-base error and came around to score in the 2nd inning. First pitch to him is a ball. Then he grounded out to the second baseman, Luis Morales, in the 3rd inning. Kind of a side-on whipper in there, missed. 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. This one ripped foul to the left side. And 2-1 will be the count. Chris attends UNLV up there in Las Vegas, University of Las Vegas. Or University of Nevada, Las Vegas, excuse me. This one hit sharply up the middle, and it takes a weird high hop over Luis Morales' head. He had an opportunity to make the grab, but boy, that ball jumped on the trampoline and went right over the top of him for a base hit. So a 1-out single recorded by Chris Dunn, and Andres Mendoza will step in there. Mendoza on a roll has a couple of base hits. 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 4th. He came around to score in the 4th inning. Big inning for the Aztecs. Boy, he had to U his way out of that one. Almost got one planted in his left hip. Runner at first is Chris Dunn. Mendoza, the catcher, at the plate. He reaches out and lifts one foul into the right field stands along the sidelines there. Andrews, another one of those Pima College youngsters. They have 19 of them on this team. He is a 2017 graduate of Desert View High School. Hit into the ground and right back to the pitcher. Hance, he moves to second base for 1 and cannot get the double off at first base. So 1-6 is the out, second out. And that will erase Dunn at second base. Mendoza will be at first, and I suspect that they will bring out a runner for him. Jacob Hakami will come out and run. They have a big awareness about trying to move the games along here, and so every time a catcher gets on first base, or any base for that matter, they run for him so he can come back and get the gear on. Richard Ware got on an error by the third baseman in the run-producing fourth inning. He got an RBI single in the second. That was the first run that was pushed across for the Aztecs. Moved to first not in time. The Aztecs scored 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and 5 in the fourth for a total of 7. However, they trail it 9-7, fouled off the end of the bat for strike one. To the plate, again fouled off to the right side. And Mr. Ware, who came into the game batting .357, finds himself in a hole 0-2. Bottom of the sixth inning on the game in the outlying areas, and it is 6-1 for the BNL Rockets over the Kings. This one slugged to left field, and it may get the distance. It does, into the left field bullpen, and Richard Ware comes up with a 2-run home run, and that will tie it all up. As they say, he got all of that. That went out probably 375. Scores the runner for Mendoza ahead of him, and we are back to square one here. Two runs batted in for Mr. Ware, along with the one that he got in the second inning. And that achieves a 2-for-3 night for him and 3 RBI. And we are all knotted up at 9. This one hit towards the hole by Alex Kelch and through. First pitch swinging and a base hit. And checking to see if there's any activity in the Team Tucson bullpen, there is not. So we will have 2 outs here, a 2-out rally for the Aztecs on a home run and a incomplete double play. The ball was not hit that strongly by Anders Mendoza, where the pitcher, Hans, grabbed the ball and threw to second base, got the lead runner, but the ball just was not hit hard enough to turn it in to a double play, which would have ended the inning. John Dormanen is up there. He's 0 for 2 and looks at the second pitch as a called strike, 1-1. Dormanen, the designated hitter tonight, batting .455 on the season, however, is 0 for 2 tonight at the letters for a called strike, 1-2. So Hans was moving along very smartly through 3 innings, but ran into a problem in the fourth, and now has given up 2 here in the fifth, sharply lined down to the right side and out of play. Geraldo, the right fielder, is deep and straight away. The center fielder, Phillips, is shallow in center. Pitch is outside, and the count squares up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth inning as the Aztecs, the league leading team, has scratched their way back into a tie. This one lifted high to the left side. Going over to get it is the shortstop, but the third baseman steps in front of him, Kino, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning on a pop out to the third baseman. But, and there's always a bet involved here, 2 runs come across, and after 5 full innings of play, it is 9-9. The top Tucson driving school is Stop and Go Driving School. Learning to drive is not just something you do to pass your test and get your license. Yes, that's part of it, but the reason you take that driving course is to make sure that you're safe on the road. Hundreds of thousands of automobile accidents happen every year, many of them fatal. With the Stop and Go Driving School expert teachers, you'll be best placed to keep yourself safe. Certified driver's education courses are available at Stop and Go Driving School. To the top of the sixth inning we go, and Travis Higdon will be out there for his second inning of work, even though he was roughed up for a run in the top of the fifth inning. Top of the sixth, the first hitter, Alec Acevedo, the first baseman, looks at the first pitch a ball, and the second pitch delivery is also a ball. Couple of players moving down to the bullpen for Team Aztec. Try to pick up a number here, as they might be going to a new pitcher in the bottom of the inning. Inside corner for a called strike. Gets a rise out of the stands on that one. Acevedo will be followed by Phillips and Dryberg. This one hit towards the shortstop. Cutting in front of him is Escariga, and he got the ball offline. The first baseman, Ware, does an outstanding job of grabbing the ball offline and applying the tag. So the out is recorded 5-3, but we're going to put a star on Mr. Ware, and he has been doing an excellent job at first base. I think that we've put a star by his name a couple of 3 times when he's been here in the stadium. Alex Phillips will be the hitter. He came into the ball game batting .357, fouls one off to the left side. Both the catcher Mendoza and Escariga, the third baseman, take a long, hard look at it to make sure that it doesn't wriggle its way back in fair before it gets to the bag. Phillips got a walk in the first inning, hit a soft line drive to the second baseman Seas in the second, and struck out looking in the fourth inning. This pitch is outside for a ball, 1-1. We're in the top of the sixth inning, all tied up at 9-9. Outside corner for a called strike, 1-2. High and away, 2-2. Angel Castillo pitched through the fourth inning. Travis Higman came on in the fifth, and now we're in the sixth inning. And a 3-2 count to the center fielder, Alex Phillips. Way outside for a walk. A one-out base runner. Third walk given up by Higdon. Also hit a batter. The batter will be the left fielder, William Dryberg. He is 0 for 3, struck out a couple of times. High and away. William, a very aggressive hitter, really goes after that pitch. 1-0 pitch, runner on first. This one swung on and lifted to right field, but it's going to go right at Chris Dunn. He shifts himself several steps off to the left and gathers it in for the second out of the inning. Temperature dropping down to 89 degrees now, started off at 97. Mentioned this several times, the fact that we're a little bit higher elevation than Phoenix, so cool down in the evening quite a bit more than our neighbors to the north. A couple of hours up there, so I don't know we can actually call them neighbors. Casa Grande would be more neighborly. First pitch strike. Morales with 3 hits tonight, scored twice, has an RBI, so he's had a productive evening and is added to his .364 batting average coming into the ball game. High and away, 1-1. Probably look for some defensive changes coming into the next couple of innings and some pinch hitters. This is generally the time that they try to get in players that have not started, swung on and missed 1 and 2. I wouldn't call this necessarily an instructional league, but one of the things when college coaches send their players to a league like this is they want to make sure that their players just aren't coming down here and sitting on the bench. So the managers make every effort to make sure that they get opportunities. The runner was going, the ball is fouled off to the right side, and we'll come back and do it all over again, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Alex Phillips was on his horse there with a 1-2 count, and a couple of outs here in the top of the 6th inning with Team Tucson and the Aztecs all even at 9. See if he goes again. He does not. This one lifted foul, but it'll reach the seats along the right field side. Right field side at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, the seats parallel the foul line until they get about 15 or 20 feet outside the grass, and then they begin to swing in towards the right and left field foul line. The difference is on the right side there are seats all the way down there. On the left side there is a grassy area. Runner does go, pitch is swung on, and the ball is thrown into center field, but it does not matter because it was a call, or not a called third strike, but a swinging third strike. So we get through the top of the 6th inning, no runs across, and after 5.5 innings of play, it is all knotted up at 9-9. Come see the difference at Goliath Auto Sales. They are the no-pressure used car dealership at 5170 North La Cholla Boulevard in Tucson. One of their customers, John, was kind enough to send a letter in, and quoting out of that letter, he says, "It was the most painless deal I ever had buying a car. I would highly recommend Goliath Auto Sales. For value pricing and affordable vehicles, make sure you check out Goliath Auto Sales." Going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning with a new pitcher on the mound for Team Tucson. It's Esteban Ruelas, and his first pitch to the top of the order, Michael Seas, is a called strike. Michael having a tough night tonight. He's came into the game batting .400, and he's 0 for tonight, 0 for 3. No changes defensively except at pitcher. Way outside for a ball, 1-1. Nine our score in the bottom of the sixth inning. This one wrapped foul to the right side, 1-2. Well, just as I say that, they announce a bunch of changes, so we'll try to pick it up here from our iScore electronic scoring thing. Down low, 2-2. Scott Pringle is the next scheduled hitter, and Angel Ochoa to follow him. Off-speed pitch hit, left side, just foul. So they say Adrian Martinez has been moved out to left field for Team Tucson. Called strike, and that will send him back to the El Bencherino. First out in the bottom of the sixth inning, and we'll go to Scott Pringle. Pringle got a walk in the fourth inning. Couple of flyouts, one in the first to center field and a line out in the third inning to right field. And one other change in the outfield we'll try to pick up here in just a second. So far don't see it, but we'll hope that we come up with it. Change up inside for a ball. Esteban Rulas is the second pitcher here used by Team Tucson, reaching out on an outside pitch and drifting it into the right field stands. And when I say right field stands, I'm talking about along the foul line. We don't have any stands out in the outfield, but they will be full on the 4th of July. Had 8,000 to 10,000 people expected. This one hit into center field, drifting back for it is Alex Phillips, still going back, and finally reaches up with one hand and grabs it just about the time it's ready to go over his shoulder. Second out of the bottom of the sixth inning. We might have a change out in right field. Try to grab that for you as we go along. This will bring up Angel Ochoa. And the Seos Pringle Ochoa combo went out 1-2-3 in the first inning, 1-2 in the third inning, and now 1-2 in the sixth inning. So we'll see if Ochoa can save the day. In the third inning, he did, in fact, save the day. Got a base hit and got on first with 2 outs. First pitch to him is a strike. And then came around on a 2 RBI double by Alex Bustamante. 0-1 pitch, fouled into the stands on the right side. 0-2 to Ochoa, and Mr. Ochoa planted one into the left field bullpen in the fourth inning. Got a base hit in the third and struck out in the first. So Angel, one of the few home runs that we see out of this big ballpark, especially for this level of baseball. This one swung on, lifted over to the right side. Acevedo tries to get it. The first baseman did a good job getting way down the line, and unfortunately cannot come up with it. Well, the right fielder is number 13, Mikey Geraldo, so there's been no change there. So I guess the only 2 changes were in left, Adrian Martinez in left field, and to the mound, Esteban Rulas. Just misses outside. The third baseman, Saul Escarilla, is in the on-deck circle. He is 1 for 3 on the evening. This one a changeup, and it kind of heads in the same direction as Acevedo tried to tag it in, and this time he catches up with it. Nice play by Acevedo, and that will be the third out of the inning. Pop out to the first baseman, and we'll put a little star on that one because he did a great job getting back, finding the ball, and gathering it in. So in the sixth inning, nothing across for either team, and so after 6 full innings of play, we're still knotted up at 9-9. Rincon Financial Group is a Tucson organization that understands that individuals face unique challenges as they prepare for retirement. The Rincon Group is standing by to take the mystery out of preparing for today and tomorrow. What's your goal? Retirement preparation, college savings, estate strategy maybe? Well, the personalized services of the Rincon Financial Group is ready, willing, and able to focus on your needs, wants, and financial goals. The Rincon Financial Group. Here we go to the top of the 7th inning. Have a new pitcher in for the Aztecs. First pitch is wrapped outside of third base and down the line. That was Manny Carrillo, and he is headed for a stand-up double. Takes a half turn towards third, but decides no way, Jose. And the ball goes into the left field corner for a first bat swinging double. And that is exactly what greeted Ethan Coleman, the new pitch hitter. Next hitter is number 17 coming up there for the Team Tucson. So we have a pinch hitter coming in. That is Greg McQuillan. Don't have any information about Greg right away. A side armor in there for a called strike. So they begin to make changes here about this time of the evening. And this is when we need a clerical worker here. But no such luck tonight. Side armor outside gets away, and moving over to third will be Manny Carino. Carino on a wild pitch that gets away from the catcher Mendoza. And that will move Carino over to third. So a run that will break the tie is 90 feet away. Greg is committed to the University of Arizona. Next pitch to him is outside for a ball, and the count goes to 1-1. So if you are a U of A fan, you will probably be seeing Mr. McQuillan when things begin to happen in the fall of this next year, or spring rather. Lifted high to the right side, coming on hard is Chris Dunn, but he does get there. It's shallow enough that there is no opportunity to score from third base, and actually a really fine throw by Mr. Dunn. Did a good job of getting over there and corralling that. And so a line out to the right fielder, and that will bring up number 10. This is Diego Bejarano. Bejarano got hit by a pitch the last time he was up there. Before that, he grounded out on a fine play by the first baseman, Richard Ware. And before that, it was a double. This one slapped up towards the middle to the second baseman. Seas takes a look at third base and runs it to first base, or throws it over there, and gets the second out of the inning. So a fine play by Seas, and that will go to the top of the order. This is Mikey Geraldo. Mikey has 2 hits in 3 official times at bat. The last time he was up, he got a walk. He also has contributed 3 runs batted in. After striking out in the first inning, he got a 2-run base hit in the second and a 1-run base hit in the third. Last time up, he walked. Side armor comes in on him, and he hits it off to the right side. Ethan Coleman is the third pitcher being used by the Aztecs tonight. Angel Castillo started things off and went 4. Travis Higman went 2. And Ethan Coleman is up there as the third pitcher. The big inning was the 4th inning for the Aztecs. Pitch is wide for a ball. In that 4th inning, the Aztecs pushed across 5 runs and then 2 more runs in the 9th, and that tied it up at 9-9, which is where we stand right now with a runner on third base and 2 outs. Big swing misses inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Coleman, after giving up a leadoff double and wild pitching a runner to third, has an opportunity to scratch his way out of this without being scathed. This one hit right back through and up to the middle, and no sooner did I say it, but he got scathed. A run-scoring single, and that breaks the tie. Kino comes down from third base, and Mr. Geraldo gets himself a go-ahead run-scoring RBI. That'll bring up Julian D'Avila. D'Avila struck out his last time out. Actually, he has struck out 3 times, but in the first inning, the ball got away from the catcher, and he got on base. He promptly wraps the first pitch into left field for a base hit, and that will move Geraldo over to second base. So with 2 outs, a rally happening here for Team Tucson, as the Aztecs have given up 1 here in the top of the 7th inning and are behind by 1. Next hitter is Patrick McGee. McGee is the extra hitter tonight, and he is 2 for 4. Got good solid wood on the ball in the 5th inning, but lined it right at Alex Bustamante in center field. In fact, Alex could have caught it sitting down. It went right to him. McGee got a double and scored in the first inning, struck out in the second, swings at the side armor's first delivery and misses for a strike. A first pitch swing got Kino a double. A first pitch swing got D'Avila on first base. Outside for a ball. 1-1 the count, 1 in, 2 out, top of the 7th inning. This one lifted high to center field and shallow. Back to get it actually is Ochoa. I thought that had more on it than it did. So a pop out to the shortstop for the 3rd out of the inning. 1 run does come across, and after 6.5 innings of play, the score is 10 for Team Tucson and 9 for the Aztecs coming up. Your Jimmy John's restaurant locations in and around the Tucson area know how much you care about freshness. That's why they spend hours in preparation every day just to make your sandwich quickly and efficiently when you show up in the shop. You get the freshest breads, all natural meats, and hand-sliced veggies every time. Now, you can stop by a store where you can watch all the action go on, or if it's more convenient, you can order online at jimmyjohns.com. We will go 4, 5, and 6. First pitch to Saul Escariga, fouled straight back for a strike. Saul is 1 for 3, got a base hit in the third inning, rounded out in the second, and flew out in the 5-run fourth inning. High and away for a ball. Esteban Rulas out there for his second inning of work. He got the Aztecs 1-2-3 in the bottom of the sixth. Hit to right center field and deep. One hop to the fence. Escariga rounding first and going for second, thinking about going for third, but decided better and will go into second base with a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the seventh inning. That will bring up Alex Bustamante and Chris Dunn, the next scheduled hitter. Bustamante has an RBI double that he got in the third inning. In the second inning, he flew out to right field and popped up to the catcher in the fifth. So an opportunity now for the Aztecs with a runner in scoring position and nobody out to get the tie back. They were tied 9-9 at the end of 6. Team Tucson scored 1 in the top of the seventh inning, and they lead it now 10-9. One ball, no strikes. This one hit sharply to left field, and it'll fall in. They see if they're going to send Escariga, but he stays at third base. And 2 base hits to start things off here in the bottom of the seventh put the Aztecs in a rather enviable position. That will bring up Chris Dunn, the right fielder. Dunn got on a 2-base error in the second inning, grounded out to the second baseman Morales in the third, and hit back to the pitcher and was out. Well, he got a base hit, in the fifth inning, but was out at second, pitcher to the shortstop. Nobody out in the bottom of the seventh. High for a ball. Mentioned Chris Dunn graduated from Bonanza High School in Las Vegas and then chose to stay at home to play college ball. He is enrolled at University of Nevada, Las Vegas. But down here playing in the Tucson Sunbelt Summer Baseball League. Long look at first base and enough for Chris Dunn to say, I want out of here. Home plate umpire gives him a timeout, and he steps out. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. Brandon Hand started things off for Team Tucson. He was relieved by John Higdon. And now Esteban Rulas at the set. Runner goes, ball in the dirt, and the stolen base will be achieved. Two balls and one strike. Runners in scoring position number dos right now, second and third. First base obviously open. On deck hitter is Andres Mendoza, the catcher. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Rulas does have one strikeout. In fact, he struck out the first guy that he faced. And got a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the sixth when he first came in. But right now facing two runners in scoring position and nobody out here. The infield is in. This one fouled straight back. So Team Tucson trying to protect the run. Kino at third, De Avila at short, Morales at second, and Acevedo at first, all on the infield grass. Down low for a ball, and it'll go 3-2. The one thing that being in close like that does achieve for the batter is it generally elevates their batting average by about 60 to 70 points. 3-2, first base open. Inside and a ball. That will put runners on now first and third. First walk given up by Rulas. And the hot-hitting catcher for the Aztecs will step in. He's put the bat on the ball every single time he's been up, put it into fair territory, got a base hit in the second, a base hit in the fourth, and his runner came around to score. He was on a fielder's choice, and his runner came around to score at that time as well. One of the things about the league is they have an interest in moving the game along, and so when catchers get on base, they generally courtesy run for them so they can get into the dugout and get their equipment on. 2 balls and no strikes now. There's no place to put them. There's action in the Team Tucson bullpen. Can't catch a number right at the moment. Try to in a minute or two. This one down in the dirt and 3 balls. They are loaded, nobody out, bottom of the 7th inning. This is when the Aztecs struck last night. They got 2 in this inning and 3 in the other inning, and that'll be another walk. And that will be a run batted in for Mendoza. So coming down to score will be Escarilla. He got on a double. Moving over to third will be Bustamante, who got on a base hit. Moving over to second base will be Chris Dunn. Dunn got there by way of a walk, and Rulas has walked 2, and there'll be a little discussion at the mound to see how things can be worked out here. Looking at the game on the outer fields, the B&L Rockets have taken over 11-1 and over the Kings, and that is, in fact, a final. So B&L took a little while to get untracked, but when they did, they scored 11, and I'm going to guess 11-1 in a final this early might very well have been considered a mercy rule. If a team is ahead by 10 after 7 full innings of play, the mercy rule jumps into effect, and that will keep things finished up at 7 innings. So Rulas will stay out there, and Richard Ware will come up to bat. Ware, a home run his last time up, hit it into the left field bullpen. First pitch is outside corner for a called strike. Richard got on an error in the fourth, but came around and scored and got an RBI single in the second inning to bring across the first run for the Aztecs. The Aztecs have tied it up now 10-10. Pitch outside. John Hudson gets over and makes a nice stop to keep it in front of him. Bases are loaded. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Aztecs, to say the least, are threatening. They've got 1 across, they're loaded, and nobody out. Down low, 2-1. Still can't pick up a number of the action in the Team Tucson bullpen. Nothing happening over in the Aztec bullpen. A double, a single, and 2 walks have plated 1 here, and we're tied at 10. This one up through the middle, but the shortstop is right over there to get it. Diavola steps on the bag and gets the runner at first base as well with the relay, and that is a unassisted 6-3 double play. A run does score on the double play, but there'll be no RBI. And the Aztecs edge into the lead. A runner on third, and nobody on second base or first base right now, and 2 outs finally. Outside corner for Alex Kelch Kelch has had nothing but hits tonight in the last two at-bats. He did get on an error in the second inning. 1 ball to him, to the plate. This one lifted to center field on his horse is Phillips. See if he catches up with it. No, he does not. It goes to right center field, bounces and goes across the warning track to the wall, and that will result in a triple for Alex Kelch. His second extra base hit of the evening, and on top of that, he gets a run batted in. That will be his third run batted in. And scoring from second base will be Chris Dunn. So 3 runs across here in the 7th inning, and Dormanen will be the hitter. He's over, but came into the ball game batting .455, has a ball on the first pitch. Had a notion on the second one, but that dropped down low, and it's 2-0. Inside for a ball, 3-0. Three runs across. Alex Kelch is at third base, called strike. A run-scoring triple for Alex. He got a 2-run scoring double earlier, and a walk is recorded here, and that will be the third walk given up by Esteban Rulas since he came in the 6th inning. And now he has seen all 10 batters in the lineup for the Aztecs, and that will go to the top of the order. Michael Seaz. Seaz has had a rough night at the plate. He's 0 for 4. Pitch is outside for a ball. Last time up, he struck out looking. And that was when Rulas came in the bottom of the 6th inning and got the first 3 hitters to make an out. This is a foul ball right side. But then double, single, walk, double play, scored another run. Then the triple scored that run, and another walk. Misses on that one, and the count goes to 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Runners on first and third. 2 outs here, and the ball is fouled off, so we'll even up the count at 2-2. Center fielder Alex Phillips is fairly shallow in center. This one hit out towards the shortstop, De Alva. He chooses to go across the infield and get the out at first base, and that will be the third out of the inning. But 3 come across, and all of a sudden the Aztecs are back in the lead by a score of 12-10. The Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and 2-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on a 42-inch flat-screen TV. Many rooms with patio doors opening out to a tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay, Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites. Top of the 8th inning with Team Tucson trying to get back some of the runs that they've given up the last inning. 3 to be exact, and they are behind now by a score of 12-10. First pitch swinging is Acevedo, the first baseman. The pitcher will take it on a high pop-up. First out of the top of the 8th inning, Ethan Coleman is still on the mound for the Aztecs, and that will bring up Alex Phillips. Phillips walked his last time out. Before that, he struck out looking, hit a soft line out to Michael Sayas at second base, and walked in the first inning. Phillips, the center fielder, plays a fairly shallow center field, but seems to be able to cover the ground. Pitch to the outside corner, a called strike. As you note, Ethan, a side armor. And sometimes you can get jelly legs watching that pitch come from third base. Fouled off to the right side. And Phillips is behind 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on, and Phillips has to put on his dancing shoes to get out of the way of that one. Looking at the line scores to this point, for the visiting team, Tucson, 10-15-4, 10 runs, 15 hits, and 4 errors. For the Aztecs, 12 runs, 13 hits, and only 1 error. Inside pitch, square them up at 2-2. The on-deck hitter, we will have to check on because we did have a replacement in left field. On-deck hitter we assume is going to be Adrian Martinez. Well, they call that a ball inside, 3-2. That is Adrian Martinez in the on-deck circle, so he will be the next hitter. Fouled off to the stands on the right side. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up here with a 3-2 count. Making sure on the infield if we have any other changes. It does not appear that we do. 3-2, down low, a walk. A 1-out runner. First walk given up by Ethan Coleman. He has given up 3 hits and the 1 run in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that will bring up Adrian Martinez. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. Move to first, thrown almost away. Well, it is thrown away down the right field line, and that'll put a runner in scoring position. So an error on the pitcher moves the runner up, and that will be the 5th error given up or charged to. I take that back. It's a 2nd error. (0-2) on the hitter. First base is open. Left fielder Scott Pringle has swung around to left center field, and the center fielder Alex Bustamante is a little bit to the right side. All for naught as Martinez strikes out swinging. 2nd out of the inning, runner on second base will stay there, and Luis Morales will be the next hitter. Morales, a recent graduate of Cienega High School down in the Vail district. We do have graduated high school seniors along with college freshmen and sophomores in the league. Called strike at the knees. Morales has appointed himself very well. He got 3 hits in the first 3 times at bat, struck out swinging in the 6th, and here we are in the top of the 8th inning. He got an RBI single in the first inning. Misses down low, 1-1. So far, we're not aware of Morales committing to a college anywhere at this time. Perhaps a community college, maybe even locally Pima. Down deep, Menendez, I'll get it in a second, Mendoza keeps it in front of him. 2 balls and 1 strike. Couple of outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Runner in scoring position by way of a walk and an error, both at the expense of the pitcher Ethan Coleman. He issued the walk and also was charged with the error. Hit into right field. We'll see if it is hard enough. Actually, Chris Dunn has an excellent arm, and so far this evening they have not challenged it, and that's exactly what they did not do there, as the runner Phillips moves over to third and chooses to stay there. Chris Dunn, I believe, has one of the strongest arms in the league this year, if not the strongest. No one has decided to take a chance on Christopher Dunn in right field. Manny Carino is up to bat. First pitch to him on the knees for a called strike. Manny got a double to lead off the 7th inning. That double greeted Mr. Coleman, and ultimately Carino came around to score. Down low for a ball, 1-1. Manny, a recent graduate of Sunnyside High School, so we have 2 graduated seniors from high school in a row here. One is on first base, and the one at the plate has a 1-1 count after having a double in the 7th inning. Before that, he walked in the 5th, got a base hit in the 3rd, and struck out looking in the 1st inning. 2 for 3 to this point. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, way outside. Three and 1 the count. Walk Carino, and that'll load him up. Outside corner for a called strike, 3-2. Well, a 3-2 situation with 2 outs will send the runner from first base. Luis Morales will be on the run as soon as the ball is released. And off he goes. Hit right back where he was and through into right field, and that will produce a run. Morales, even though he got a good head start, holds up at second base on the run-scoring base hit for the just graduated high school senior, Manny Carino. That brings Alex Phillips down from third base, and the batter will be Greg McQuillan. McQuillan has designated to the University of Arizona. He hit one right on the button. Unfortunately, it was to right fielder Chris Dunn, who didn't move an inch by grabbing it. So good contact. First pitch to him is a ball. McQuillan came in the bottom of the 7th, or top of the 7th inning. So Team Tucson has scratched one back and now only need to make up a run. This one hit foul, right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Team Tucson with 1 across here in the 8th inning. They had 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the seventh. And that's how we got to this stage. This one lifted high and short to center field. Back to get it is the second baseman, and he can't grab it. Seaz tried to make an over-the-head catch and was unable to do so. Don't know whether he got his glove on the ball or not, but because there were 2 outs, the runner at second base, Morales, was able to just take off and came around to score. So we are all tied up once again at 12-12. Kino got as far as second base, had to hold up. Well, with 2 outs, he didn't really need to hold up. Not exactly sure why he did. But McQuillan, and they're going to give him a base hit on that. Pitch is inside for a ball. And we will go to Diego Bejarano. Bejarano is now up for his fifth time. He got a double in the second inning. Was out on a nice play by the first baseman, Ware. Big swing and a miss. And the count will go to 1-1. Got hit by a pitch in the 5th inning and grounded out to the second baseman, Seaz, in the 7th inning. Second baseman made a valiant effort to try to get that ball, but it just dropped into no man's land. Changeup lifted to the left side. Back to get it is the third baseman, Escariga, and he gathers it in for the pop fly out. And that ends the 8th inning, the top of the 8th inning, third out. And that will bring up the top of the order for the top of the 9th. But we are all tied up. 2 more come across. And we are tied after 7.5 innings of play at 12-12. When you want really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chuy's Mesquite Broiler on East 22nd Street in Cobb. Chuy's knows what Southwestern tastes are all about, and they are there to satisfy. Chili's on 22nd Street is open until 10 o'clock weeknights and Sundays, until 11 on Fridays, and until midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, decor, and drinks at Chuy's at East 22nd Street and Cobb. Third pitcher of the evening being used by Team Tucson. This is Riley Squire taking over on the mound. First pitch inside for a ball to the second hitter in the Aztecs lineup, Stockton Pringle. Pringle playing left field tonight. And he is 0 for 3, has a walk and a run scored in there. This one popped up behind second base. Trying to get to it is the second baseman, Luis Morales, and he really went a circuitous route, but finally picked it up. First out of the inning. Going to give a star for Morales on that. It's awfully hard to go straight back, and then he kind of lost track of the trajectory of the flight of the ball, but finally ziggied around and got it. Angel Ochoa up there. Angel has had a fine evening, got a home run, a 2-run home run in the 4th inning, base hit in the 3rd, and was out on a really outstanding play by the first baseman, Acevedo. That happened in the 6th inning, so we're in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch swinging for the Aztecs second shortstop. Riley Squire on the mound. This one ripped inside the line and headed to the right field corner. Bounces off the stands, making it tough for Geraldo to get a hold of it, but he finally tracks it down, and a 1-out double puts a runner at second base in scoring position. That'll bring up Sal Escarriga. He's been playing third base tonight for the Aztecs and doing a good job at the plate, 2 for 4. Last time up in the 7th inning, he got a double to start off things in the bottom of the 7th that found 3 runs crossing for the Aztecs. He also has a base hit back in the 3rd. This one banged into left field, hit very hard. We're going to hold him up at 3rd because that ball got out to the left fielder, Adrian Martinez, in one quick hurry. Bustamante will step in now. He is 2 for 4 on the evening, has a double and an RBI in the 3rd inning, got a base hit and came around to score in that 3-run 7th inning. 1 out, runners on 1st and 3rd, even though it was an outfield hit. This one ticketed to left center field and deep. It bounces off the wall. 1 run is in. The second runner around third base and headed to the plate. The throw to third, and they got him at third base. So it's going to be credited for a 2 RBI double, and the runner, Bustamante, is thrown out at third base. Nice relay from the center fielder, Phillips, to the shortstop, Dealdra, and then to the third baseman for the out. That's the 2nd out of the inning, but 2 runs did score. A check swing for Chris Dunn, and a first strike to him. Deepest part of left center field to the 390 mark was that double. Score 2, but got thrown out at third base. Two across, and the Aztecs go back in front 14-12 as we have seesawed back and forth here the last 3 innings. Down and away for a ball, 1-2. In the dirt, Hudson blocks it and keeps it out in front of him. No concern right now because there's nobody on. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Fouled off to the left side. Count will stay at 2-2. Dunn is 1 for 3. But more importantly, he has thrown some strikes and strong ones from the outfield to keep Team Tucson at bay on a couple of scoring opportunities. So Chris, with a strong arm, now fouls this next pitch off to the left side. So the top of the 9th inning will be the top of the order for Team Tucson. So they'll need to get busy to try to get back at least these 2. And hopefully that for Team Tucson is as far as it goes. And that's exactly what happens with a swinging strikeout. So the bottom of the 8th inning, 2 come across. And the very resilient Aztecs are ahead 14-12 after 8 full innings of play. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in equipment and uniforms for all sports. They also do school uniforms, and of course anything that your company wants them to do, they're ready to go. They have a full range of services, including silk screening, embroidery, heat press custom printing, banners, and more. Elite Sporting Goods is over there on South Campbell at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web, Elite Sporting Goods. To the top of the ninth inning we go. Big swing for the top of the order, Mikey Geraldo, as Team Tucson needs 2 to carry it along. Mikey has 3 hits tonight. This one fouled off to the right side, and he finally finds himself in a hole, 0-2. Into the ball game to be the 4th pitcher for the Aztecs will be Alex Bustamante. Alex is moving in from center field. So we'll have to check and see who is out in center field. Big swing and a miss, and 1 out at the top of the 9th inning. So going into center field for the Aztecs is Joseph Dicochia. And the next hitter is the second hitter in the lineup, Julian De Alva. De Alva has a base hit the last time he came up, but before that, he was over. Pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right side. De Alva is the young man who struck out in the first inning, but the ball got away from the catcher and he went to first base. And that was part of the 3 runs in the top of the first inning. Into the right field corner for a base hit. And once again, Chris Dunn really shows that rifle arm and gets over there and guns it to Michael Sayas, the cutoff man, and that will hold the runner at first base. Scheduled hitter is Patrick McGee. McGee got a double and came around to score in that 3-run first inning for Team Tucson that got them off to a great start. At one time, they led it 5-0. The pitch is high for a ball. Since that time, McGee has struck out, gotten another base hit, lined out to center field, and popped up to the shortstop. Off-speed pitch had a head of the ball game swing. Patrick McGee with a strike, 1-1. Alex Bustamante moving in from center field to take over the pitching chores here. Misses inside, 2-1. Mentioned that Joe DeCochea is out in center field now. 3-1. So Team Tucson went 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third. They got 1 in the fifth, 1 in the seventh, 2 in the eighth, and that will be a walk, the first walk, given up by the new pitcher, Alex Bustamante. Moves the runner into scoring position, and we'll take a little time out to discuss things because you sure as heck don't want to get things too carried away, because 2 runs, not the easiest thing to do in an inning, but not the most difficult either. This is the 4th hitter in the Team Tucson lineup, Alex Acevedo, first baseman for Team Tucson. Hits it hard to straightaway center field. Back to get it is DeCochea. It goes over his head, and 1 run will score. Second run is being held up at third base, and there's only a 1-run differential now. Acevedo is around to third. In to score is McGee, and the batter is Alex Phillips, way high for a ball. Phillips came into the ball game batting .357. He has walked 3 times, struck out, and had a soft line drive to the second baseman. Down low for a ball. Runners on second and third. Way outside. Whoa, my mistake. Outside corner for a called strike. Don't want to give anything away, but with 1 out and needing 1 run, this would be a perfect time for a squeeze play. Strike 2, 2-2. That kind of takes the squeeze out of what might have been used. On deck hitters Adrian Martinez. 3-2, and this is a place that a pitcher needs to be very careful not to give in to the hitter. Outside for a ball, and they're loaded. 14-13. The base is jammed. 1 out in the top of the 9th inning, as we have had several lead changes since the 4th inning. And that will bring up Adrian Martinez, first pitch swinging and missing. Alex Bustamante on the mound. He is the 4th pitcher being used by the Aztecs tonight. Boy, this one almost gets away from everybody there. A ball. Mendoza does a good job of getting over there and getting it. And quite frankly, Martinez needs to remember on a pitch like that, get the bat down. Outside swinging miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The on-deck hitter is Luis Morales, who has 4 hits tonight. Big swing and a miss, and that is a very, very important strikeout. It is the 2nd strikeout of the inning. The inning was led off with a strikeout, and now Martinez strikes out for the 2nd out, and that will allow the infielders to move back. But Luis Morales is not somebody to be taken lightly. This is his 6th time at bat. In the previous 5 times, he's gotten 4 base hits, struck out swinging in the 6th. 1-run differential. First pitch is a called strike. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Unless one more run comes across for Team Tucson, this will be it. This one lifted to right field. Coming on hard is Chris Dunn, and he grabs it for the out, and that will end the ball game. So we had kind of an exciting finish here with a lot of action back and forth, but the 1 run comes in the top of the 9th inning, and that will make it 13 for Team Tucson, but 14 for the Aztecs. And we will take a look here at the line score out there. It is 13 runs, 20 hits, and 4 errors. 13 runs, 20 hits, and 4 errors for Team Tucson. And the Aztecs to win it, 14 runs, 16 hits, and I can't tell whether that's 2 or 3 errors. We'll go with 2. So once again, 14, 16, and 2. And that will end our ball game here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. The other ball game that we were keeping an eye on results from this evening, the BNL Rockets blasted off late and came up with an 11-1 win over the Old Pueblo Kings. We had another game scheduled out there, the Tucson Champs and the Rincon Knights, but we've been unable to make contact with the scorer out there, so we don't know what has happened in that one. This one here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, 14 for the Aztecs and 13 for Team Tucson. That will keep the Aztecs in the lead with an 11-3 record, and will push Team Tucson down to a 6-6 record. Looking forward to tomorrow night, it will be the Aztecs for the 3rd game in a row here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, and I think maybe I need to double check that one because they've had some scheduling back and forth and a few changes along the line. So we're going to look up what the game for tomorrow evening should be as we check on the teams here with the schedule and get that up on our screen here. So for tomorrow evening, we will check and see what is going to be here in the Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. And we are looking at Saturday the 22nd. It'll be the Rincon Knights and Team Tucson. Team Tucson is the team that will be repeating here in the stadium. And then we'll have the BNL Rockets and the Cochise Stars and the Aztecs and the Kings on one of the outlying fields in the southern part of this area. Well, that about does it. Final line scores for the Team Tucson, 13-20 and 4 errors. The 4 errors hurt them a bit. And for the Aztecs, coming on with 3 runs in the 7th inning and 2 runs in the 8th inning to break a 9-9 tie and move in front 14-13. 14 runs on 16 hits and 2 errors. So from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, looking forward to you being with us tomorrow evening at 6:50 when we kick another webcast off. This is Alan Scott saying good night